She is running one of the coldest businesses in the game. We're recognized by Ebony, we're recognized by Forbes 30 under 30.
You have to get to a point where it's like, if I stop now, this will all be for nothing. You never know how close you are. I wasn't able to like truly step into my greatness until I stopped looking at what she was doing.
Alrighty, we'll get into it.
Let's
Awesome.
do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Code of the Craftsman, hosted by Jay Briggs
Ben Cowan.
and we are here with a very special guest today, Valandria Smith Lash. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard about her, you're going to hear about her now. She is running one of the coldest businesses in the game when it comes to body cream, course culture. She is a crazy good entrepreneur, graduated from Miami University of Ohio in Oxford. She's been recognized in the Ebony magazine, which is nuts. And she's also been recognized as a Forbes 30 under 30 member. In the year of 2023. She is doing so many great things, let alone being a great entrepreneur. She is also a public speaker. She has been speaking to so many different students, inspiring them to reach their fullest potential. So without further ado, Valandria Smith Lash, everyone.
Hi. Woo. I don't know. There's like a
That still works.
Like I said, I got to get a sample of your body cream and I utilized it.
yeah.
Yours is different. Yours just, went
Thank
seamless
you.
into the skin. You have a great product, and just getting into the character of you and who you are, you're an even greater person.
Yeah.
I
Thank you
need
so much.
I need to get some, by the way. I haven't been able to try yet,
Oh
but
no.
Jay was hyping it up lots.
Next time I come down there,
Yeah.
we'll have to snag some from you. Um,
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Then you can come
um,
like see the space too.
I know you guys heard that. Come see the space. Can you give a little backstory as into what that space entails? Can you just give a little backstory on that?
Yes, how I got into the space. So I, during my senior year, I wrote an email to the president of the university and essentially asked to have my product in the campus stores because by then I was doing like a lot of pop-ups and participating in different community events. So I was like, oh, like how cool would it be to actually put it on the campus shelves? That way it's more accessible and like at the time, I didn't have any sort of manufacturing in Oxford at all, so it would make things a lot I feel like it was a big jump for us. It would have been good for us to be in the campus store. And he's like, "Huh, I can do you one better. What if you join our new innovation center? We're renovating this building on College at Elm Street. How would you like to be our first student tenant?" And that's kind of where all of that came from. I got a grants as well as some extra funding from the school to help build out the space. And yeah, here we are today. So now we produce and manufacture all of our products on Miami University's campus with the help of current college students.
What is this for those who may not be familiar with course culture yet? What would you say? What is this this body cream that you made? And I know there is a long story as to why you created it in the first place.
Yeah, so Course Culture is a personal care brand that specializes in whipped body butter products. They come in a variety of scents and are all natural, plant based. The company started because it was born from my mom's journey with lupus. It was me trying to relieve her skin irritations due to the side effects of that diagnosis. And it was just a labor of love that kept multiplying and multiplying. So it went from her to her support group members who I was making the product for, friends and family. And then finally, in my junior year of college, is when I got serious and established the company as a true business entity.
Super, super dope, Alendra. And we were talking about it briefly before we started going on air and recording. But to my knowledge, you went to school for speech pathology and dance.
Yeah.
How were you able to, create such a product without having the, formal training and have it, turn to be something so successful?
Yeah, like I was saying, like it's more of a mad scientist sort of situation. When I started making the product, I was 14. And it was just me putting all of the ingredients that the dermatologists, the doctors, the product specialists suggested that may be helpful for her. Happy accident. I kid you not, 100%. I was like, "Oh, let's put this in here and let's put this in here." And obviously there was some refining and product testing down the line, but course culture and me being an entrepreneur has absolutely nothing to do with my degrees at all. Yes, speech pathology with a minor in dance. I thought I was going to be an audiologist when I graduated. And my senior year, I was presented with a crossroads. It was either move forward with the production space and move my company to Oxford, go through that whole thing, or go for the full ride in grad school that I was awarded at Illinois State University. And as you can imagine, it was pretty hard, like walking away from the full ride, but I figured grad school will always be there. And who gets the opportunity to have a university back them? Like, that's not an everyday occurrence.
Well, speech pathology and dance. Like, oh, that's that is quite the transition. That's awesome. So as you said, you made that jump to where it was something that was going around campus or with your friends, but then you took it from there to mass production and Amazon and all that. A lot of people have business ideas. A lot of people have things that they're trying to get off the ground. Dan and I as well, like this podcast, for example, they have something established. We've been blessed to have certain opportunities within this podcast, but like we ultimately are trying to make that same jumps.
Yeah.
What would you say? What would be your advice to anyone who's trying to make a similar jump?
Yeah, I think I was able to make the jump because I was really good at leveraging the opportunities and resources that were in front of me in that moment. I grew up with like a family that always says like if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, which really just is like a notion for making sure that you're prepared for those opportunities come because like I assume we're all of similar age, right? Were you guys born in 2000, 2001, 99?
Yeah, 2001.
Right. So what's expected of us as like young adults is not what you would expect like from the same person who's trying to start a podcast who's like in their 30s or 40s. So how you excel is by being a little bit better than what people expect from you. So when they do offer you those opportunities, you're prepared and ready to go. For example, when I went into the room with the president and first of all, when I asked for the meeting, it wasn't just like, "Oh, hey, I want to talk to you about the product." It was, hey, I have had this much, demand for the product on campus. I participated in this many pop-ups. Here are the articles that we've been featured in. Here's our Amazon profile page. Like, so that's what got me into the meeting. And then when I got into the meeting, I had the numbers, I had the request, I knew what store I wanted to be on, I knew what I wanted to price it. So if you come prepared and you're also young, you kind of beat the expectation there. So that's what I would say for any sort of budding entrepreneur or anyone in general that's young and trying to like lean more into their career. If you are more than what is expected from you, you'll go really far, really fast. That's how you get the attention of mentors. And mentors are like cheat codes. If you can find a good mentor, they'll help you skip steps. So it's kind of like a chain reaction thing, but you have to be ready to win.
For sure. Aledra, how important is it for an entrepreneur to build a business that reflects who they are rather than just a business that is focused on generating income? Your business is focused primarily on who you are. That's why people veer towards it. That's why I veer towards it. It's more so the person. The product is great, but then again, like also just having like the backstory and the personal connection.
I think it's pretty important, especially in terms of wanting to attract the right audience. Like you just said, you were attracted to the story course culture because that's, the value in it, the mission and things like that. And I do understand that there are plenty of entrepreneurs out here who are looking after money, but that's what they value. And that if that's your primary value, then like that's okay too. But like that primary value in your company comes from your core value as a person. And if you're in general money hungry and not solving a problem, I personally don't think that gets you very far in the long end. Because businesses, yes, they're about money. Everyone wants to make money, but like you're not going to go anywhere if you're not helping anybody. So I would say it's really important to have a business that aligns with your values so you don't get drained. Because it's going to be really hard working for a company whose values you don't align with. And I think that's why a lot of people end up quitting jobs so young in their career because they realize this isn't the culture for me.
So, Valandra, a little bit more just about making that jump that you talked about, getting to where you are. There's a saying, what like when they launch a rocket, it takes 75% of the fuel is used in the first 100 feet or something like that. What would you say was the hardest part of launching, getting your business off the ground?
Yeah, probably the hardest part I would say is sticking with it. You know how they say like you got to keep putting in reps. Oh my gosh, everybody gets tired, like, especially in the beginning because you're not making any money. You most companies usually don't see a good, like, ROI in the first 1 to 2 years, like, you're not gonna see it most of the time. Some people get really lucky and they're like an overnight sensation and it's fine, but most companies, you're not gonna see it, and it just kind of I don't know, I kinda think of it like a weed out college class, you know? You know that there are those classes that are, like, incredibly hard for no reason. You're a freshman, and you're kinda like, "I don't wanna do this."
That was my psych class that I taught.
Yeah, and for me, it was bio. It
I
was
wasn't that
bio.
mean. I wasn't that
Yeah.
mean teacher. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
for sure.
just yeah, and I feel like those early years, those early moments are kinda like the weed 'em out moments, you know, will you stick with it? Um Will you persevere? Like, do you have resilience and grit? Because that's what it takes to be a good founder, a good entrepreneur. There's gonna be plenty more times where you feel like quitting or where things aren't gonna go out your way. And there's gonna be a lot of stuff that goes wrong. I think that also was, like, discouraging too, because when you're starting, you have all of this positive energy and excitement and adrenaline because 'cause you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be rich, and I can just see all this stuff," and then you start getting smacked left and right with everything that's going wrong. You gotta be able to eat it. You have to be and keep moving and keep sticking with it because if you don't, it's just gonna die. Then you really did waste money. So it's kinda like you have to get to a point where it's like, if I stop now, this'll all be for nothing. You never know how close you are. I don't know, have you guys seen that graphic? There's, like, 2 tunnels, one is on top of the other, and one guy, like, is, like, frowning, and he's right
Yep.
there, like, on the other side of the diamond, and it's, like, an inch more digging, and the other guy is just, like, hacking away at the top, and it's all this dirt. You know what I'm talking about, Jay?
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah,
literally just
but
posted it like a couple weeks ago. That's funny as you say
yes.
that. Yep, for sure.
It's
I look at
literally
that every day.
it's just like the graphic. It's just like the graphic. You just have to stick with it. That's what I would say.
Nah, I literally was just looking at that every day. That's kind of my constant reminder to where it's like you might get discouraged, on some days, but you never know if you're a day from where God's trying to get you or if you're 10 years, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, just keep going. But I did
Yeah.
dig into the background of Valandria. Like, apart from the person that we see now, just doing my own research, you grew up on the south side of Chicago. How
Yes.
how did your upbringing impact the values and characteristics that are instilled in you today?
Oh, yeah. The whole idea is like take care culture. I don't know if you've seen it on like any of the course culture material, but like you'll see course culture at the bottom of our banners or things like that. But it's like the idea of taking care of others and like just treating people in general as you would a loved one. So like just the idea of like helping. You need to be a helpful person and kinda like, going back to my, like, origin story and, like, putting on my cape when my mom, like, kinda dropped hers, when she was having a hard time. So, I would say being on the South Side, like, definitely taught me how to be a good community member, and also, like, understand how to work for the greater good of the collective.
And what would you say, like, you definitely will always have ties to the south side of Chicago, but you engaging in this endeavor, what is your end goal in regards to what you're trying to show those kids that were in similar position as you once were?
That's a great question. That's a really, really, really good question. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that directly, which is pretty cool.
It's the goal. That's the goal of the podcast.
Yeah, that's a
To
great
bring that
question.
out, yeah.
Nobody's ever asked me that. And it's funny you say that because I'm supposed to be speaking for graduation for my middle school that I graduated from next spring. So it's good that like you're already helping me get those gears turning. But off the top of my head, I would just say that that it can be done. It can be done. You can make it. It's not every person who comes from the south side of Chicago isn't doomed to the same life that their parents had. Be that as it may, good or bad, like, you don't have to conform to your environment because the South Side can be a little rough. It can be. I didn't grow up necessarily in a particularly rough area, but that doesn't mean that all of us weren't exposed to, the darker sides of the city life or just the darker sides of the world in general. Every place, it doesn't matter which city, which small town, wherever you go, there's gonna be, some things you have to learn how to, like, say yes or no to. And my primary goal for those kids, which would be to show them that they can make it out of Chicago. You're allowed to dream big. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, so you said one of your main things you want to show is that yes, it can be done. Were there ever moments where you may have questions whether it could be done or not? And if so, what were those moments and how did you get past those?
Yes, there were moments when I wondered if it could be done or not. And it was usually when I felt stumped, kind of stuck in whatever the case was. Sometimes it would be like a pop up didn't go well because in my earlier stages, I did them all the time. I think the company as a collective has maybe done like 50 or 60 of them. Yeah, sometimes you pay the fee to join the pop-up and the people don't show up. And so you end up losing money instead of making money. And how did I get past that? I kind of just had to understand when I feel like giving up. And usually it's a few things. As mundane as it may seem, sometimes I'm sleepy. I know it sounds crazy, but like sometimes you just need a nap and a snack, and you can think a little bit better about whatever it is that's making you upset. Sometimes it's not. It's actually not that serious. You just need to walk away for a second.
Landry, you've been at this for 10 years, since the
Yeah,
age of 14. What word
yeah.
would you say what word would you use to describe your journey thus far? 'Cause I think it's so interesting that you've been at it for 10 years, and a lot of people that just engage or just jump into the business sector, they give up so quick before they can see, like, what it truly can be, but you've been at it for 10 years, and you're starting to reap the fruits of your labor, and you're literally just getting started from my perspective, so what word would you use to describe that journey?
Ooh. You're just hitting me left and right with the good questions. One word to describe my journey between 14 and 24. I guess unexpected or what is I'm trying to think of another word. I'm not sure if I have the lexicon for it. It's a cross between like it's not what you thought, but it's awesome, but it's also like kind of scary. And I don't know if there's a word for all for all of that.
For sure. Almost like a roller coaster of emotions.
Probably a roller coaster. Let's go with
Yeah.
that. Probably a roller coaster. If I were to describe, yeah, probably a roller coaster. Yeah, or maybe more like a water slide. 'Cause it's
Got
like cause when you're going in a water slide, I don't know if you've probably been in a water slide, but it's dark, and you don't know, you just
yeah,
hitting the
I'm a
turn,
fan.
you can't see, you have no idea where this is going, and then at the end of the tunnel, it's like sunshine and, like, the beautiful pool and all the smiling faces, so maybe a water slide, because I feel like I just got in the pool, and I can
Right.
see everything, and I'm like, "Wow, this is so nice, I'm gonna swim over here, I'm gonna swim over there." So
Yeah.
maybe a water slide might be a little bit better.
No, I like that. I remember we got a, water park here to where it's like they call it the toilet bowl, and it's literally just pitch black, and then once you get through,
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh, I don't know.
all nice and glamorous, but,
Mhm.
you know, you're not
Nope.
getting on it, man?
No, there ain't
Nah.
no way. Uh-uh.
I think the biggest thing too, though, that, like, I catch from that, Valandra, is that I feel like a lot of people are scared of the unknown, but something that I try to adopt and something that you definitely, adopt as well is just embracing the unknown and falling in love with it. That's, kind of the space that I feel I'm in now because like we're putting in these calculated efforts, these calculated steps, and there's no way we can lose,
Yeah,
just the work that we're putting in. So yeah, definitely something that I just got from that is just don't be afraid of the unknown, embrace it.
yeah,
You know what could come.
you don't. So, and usually if you stick with something, it's gonna go well. Usually, like I say maybe 8 times out of 10. I won't even say nine. I say 8 times out of 10. Like if you're living, no, forget that. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. If you're living within your purpose and doing what you're supposed to be doing, everything's gonna line up. And it's gonna be really miraculous, and it's gonna feel like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you feel like quitting is when someone's gonna like give you a phone call and say, "Hey, how's your company going?" Or they're gonna go, "Hey, Jay, Ben, what? I haven't seen an episode on the podcast in 2 weeks. What's going on?" And then you
Mhm.
guys are gonna feel like, "Oh my gosh, people are actually listening to us. Like, Ben, Jay, we got to get back to the." So yeah, it's just you'll be surprised like how literally miraculous it is like when you're leaning into what you're supposed to be doing, like your purpose.
For sure.
It just falls into place.
But I got a question. Ben and I, we do our research. Your focus when you go to public speak is purpose driven living. But what does that mean to you, and how does somebody find their purpose and live in their purpose? 'Cause I think that's something that a lot of people are struggling with our age. So
Yeah, so like I was saying, like being an entrepreneur was a happy accident for me. I was just trying to help my mom and then it ended up, going really well. But I would say if you really want to figure out what your purpose is, you need to know who you are. And you figure out who you are by trying a bunch of different things and seeing what lights you up, what makes you feel good. I found that by trying a bunch of stuff, by trying to figure out, what it is that I liked and I didn't like, it's easier to figure out through those activities what am I really good at? Am I really good at getting people to open up on a podcast? Am I really good at making products that are sustainable? Am I really good at, I don't know, drawing really beautiful logos or something like that? Um, there are people who make coloring books. There are professional cuddlers. Like it could literally be anything. Did you guys know that there are like professional cuddlers? Like it's a California thing.
I didn't see
It's
that. We were out there for a couple. I was there for 5 years. You were there for I think 3 years, Jay. But
Ben,
uh,
didn't you used to go to like various like events, like professional cuddling events?
no,
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 it's a thing. It's a
That
thing.
is crazy.
A
Yeah.
professional cuddler.
Ben, I know that I've been talking a lot. I'll let you jump in if you have a question.
no. I mean, no, you're good. Hey, sometimes, hey, I already know. I know what you're thinking. So it says, hey, let them keep rolling with it.
No,
Um, it did
yeah, go ahead,
actually. Jay and I are both in rotational programs at large manufacturing companies, been exposed to various leadership opportunities, but you are already running a company with running a manufacturing business with employees. There's a product line. Like, how's that experience been? Like being that young, but also having that opportunity to have that that kind of responsibility.
Sometimes I walk in here and I think, how did I even to create all of this for myself? Did I really put myself in charge of all this? This is kind of like,
Yeah, how many employees are there again?
5 right now for the beginning of the semester. We'll probably take another, I don't know, maybe 4. We'll probably take another 4. So our employees we have like the students who help manufacture, and then we have students in product development, and then we have students that are in supply chain management. Maybe 2/3 of the students that help with course culture slash work for course culture, doing it in correspondence with a class that they have at Miami University. So it functions as a experiential learning sort of opportunity. But yeah, I would say manufacturing it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You have to make sure you keep things clean. You have to make sure you show everybody the procedures. You have to make sure that, everyone's wearing your hairnets and things like that. And it's also a lot of work trying to protect the recipe because you can't, it's like if you think about like the different types of pop, Pepsi and Coca-Cola can't say like, yeah, we invented pop. All they can do is protect their specific recipe for that drink because that's what makes them money. So figuring that part out was a bit challenging, but once I got over that hurdle, it was fine.
Landry, I got to ask the question. I don't know if this is something that crosses your mind on a daily or if you just have pinch me moments, but you are also a young, educated Black woman CEO running your own thing. Like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's
Look,
it.
she having a
Yeah.
pinch me moment right now.
Yeah. It for me is more so just like a symbol of progression. That's kind of how I see it because your parents take steps to get you ahead and you take steps for your next generation and so on and so forth. And I just am so honored to be the product of all of the women before me that took all of these hard steps and made progress in their own lives to make sure that I have the opportunity to have the opportunity to not only go to a boarding school, but like also be a Daniel Murphy scholar, also be an Evans scholar, because it takes all that pouring in. My mom, my aunts, my sisters, all of those women who helped me become who I am today. So I just feel really proud, and I make sure that in my speeches that I do honor them.
And something that I noticed too, doing my research on Even Landry and then, just going through the incredible website that you have. In bold and large letters, you have something that reads, trust your journey always. What made you put that as a big, bolded font on your website? And what does trust your journey always mean to you?
There's too many people watching everybody else's path. that's kinda like the core of where that comes from, because you know how they say, like, you can't run your own race because you're so busy trying to run mine? I don't know if you ever heard,
Yeah.
any
Uh,
yeah, so, Ben, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah, there's like that saying too, and it's just it's so true because I have realized that, you know, when you put your head down and lock in on what it is that you're supposed to be doing and what your path is, it gets you so much further ahead. Because I remember in the beginning of my when I was like first started truly trying to get course culture off the ground. I was like, dang, how is it that, you know, this girl's selling keychains? Everybody has a keychain. How is this girl selling keychains? Overnight sensation. Like, how did she do that in 2 days? That's so crazy. But I wasn't able to like release that and truly step into my greatness until I stopped looking at what she was doing. So that's why I say, like, trust your journey always because your journey is yours, and that's what makes it unique, and that's what makes it excel. Like, if you don't focus on you and what you're supposed to be doing, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're literally just, you know, standing there looking around like, "Hey, what's Ben doing?" Or, "Oh, what's Jay doing?" And then I'm so busy looking at you, I didn't turn in my paper. I didn't submit for the grant. That's why I, say that because I just think people really don't know what life or God has in store for them. I just I you don't know what it is, and you will never find out unless you truly enter a period of solitude where you just are completely locked in on your journey, your purpose, your mission in this life.
Love that. And if you don't mind me asking, Valandra, how big of a role has faith played in your success in your journey?
It's been a huge portion of my journey, especially lately. I have prayed to God on multiple occasions about my company and just asked him to align my steps with his will to like help me make the right decisions. And you don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to trust that you're being led down the right path if you have the faith and the work.
For sure, I love that. I
Yeah.
love it.
That's a theme that's come up in a lot of other podcasts that we've done. Would you say, Jay? You know,
Really?
people who wherever they ended up now is not exactly where they thought they would be when they're starting their journey. So
For sure, for sure.
That's cool.
I think a huge aspect of it, especially like just my journey and then a lot of other people that I talk to is faith. How you were saying, like having, whoever you may believe in, for me is God, like just having him to rely on and then just, understanding that he's not going to lead you astray and he's going to take
Yeah.
care of you take care of your own business. I think that's key. But I also wanted to ask you, Valandria, I know we're getting short on time, but with your progression, there's also been, recognition. And like I was saying earlier, you've been recognized by Ebony, you've been recognized by Forbes 30 under 30. Like, what have those recognitions like meant to you? And how do you stay level head as you continue to progress?
Those recognitions meant, it was kinda like it was a form of legitimacy for me. I didn't start calling myself a CEO until maybe 6, 7 months ago. I wouldn't
Mhm.
say I'm the CEO. It took me forever to say that, and after getting those awards because I got the Forbes thing well, I got yeah, it was Ebony then Forbes, but they serve as like not only ways for me to legitimize myself, like help my self-esteem as a founder, but it also kind of functions as a tool of leverage in the room because when people hear Ebony, Forbes, Amazon, that means something. Those names carry some weight. So it's been very interesting and also helpful how being able to have those opportunities very early on has allowed me to open doors that I wouldn't have thought would have opened just simply because I've been recognized by those entities.
Landria, this we brought you on here because, as you know, the name of the podcast is Code of the Craftsman. So, what does that word mean to you? And what's your best final advice on how to become one?
Mm, how to become
Hopefully, you haven't been asked that already.
no,
So,
no, 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 no. No one's ever asked me that one either. That's why I'm
okay, good.
stoked. What does craftsman mean to me? A craftsman is a person who is able to turn nothing into something through faith and work. That is what a craftsman is.
Perfect.
That is my yeah, that's my final answer.
Yeah, I know we put you on the spot, but you nailed it. So,
She
Um
nailed it. Might have been one of the best responses we had thus far. Might have been one of the best responses we have had thus far. Nah, for
Oh,
sure.
nice.
Nah, Valandra, we wanted to make sure that we were respectful of your time. I just wanted to give you your flowers in regards to all the, great things that you're doing.
Thank
You don't know
you.
how much, inspiration you give to me, especially, as a woman and as a Black woman, being able to see, the sisters winning. That's so much inspiration to me. Um,
Yeah.
doing what you're doing. God's got his hand on you. You don't understand how many people you're impacting. Even if you just impact one,
Yeah.
our job is done. So you keep doing what you're doing. We are in your corner, and let's just keep elevating. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Yeah.
your time.
Hey, Valandra, I know you're an Evans scholar. How's your golf game?
I can't golf, believe it or not. I
Good.
can't
So
golf.
you just caddy. You don't play?
No, I don't play,
Oh
but
man.
I can read a green very well.
Well, I
I
can
Yeah,
do
promise
I
I
was gonna
can.
say.
I can get. So, all putting help I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can help. But thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, we hope you enjoyed it. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And Ben, I know Ben's in Maryland, but when he gets back, we're gonna have to get a tour of the facility. You can put us to work if
Yeah.
you need.
I
So
love to.
we'll get our hair nets
I love,
on.
I
It happen. We'll get that production going.
I
Where's
would
that
love
production
that.
going?
I would love that. If you guys
For
come
sure.
anytime around, the holidays, it's all hands on deck. So
For sure. Let's do it.
yeah,
Let's do it.
that'll
Let's
be good.
Nah, I wish you nothing but more success, Valencia.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
No doubt. Keep an eye on my little brother for me.
I will. I got
Yeah.
your back.
is there
If
I
he
a,
if
got
he
it.
gets out of line, he a good kid. But if he gets out of line, just grab his ear. Just pull it out.
gotta learn. He's
No,
got to learn.
he's really respectful. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, if
But
you don't
yeah.
mind, Valandria, before you dip out, can we get if you say this is Valandria and you're watching Code of the Craftsman or something, or however you want to say it?
Yeah.
Close this out.
Yes, I can. This is Valandria Smith Lash, and you're watching Code of the Craftsman.
That's cold.
Yeah.
And then can we take a picture?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you for listening. We hope you are able to reflect and apply the wisdom that resonates. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Code of the Craftsman. Stay tuned for more content, special guests, and gems you can only get on Code of the Craftsman.